Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. The last video that I did, I talked about doing a audio, video, GoPro kind of thing of how a typical shift would work in segregation. I'm still working on that. I'm actually writing things down so I remember it as best I can to give you guys the truth. So in the meantime, I'd actually forgotten about this situation that had happened, and a comment on one of my previous videos helped give me a good memory jog. One of the earlier videos I did that's way down below in the archives, I think it might have been July or August of last year, when I did this video, talked about my first use of force, how I was working outside the chow hall, patting down inmates, and an offender attacked one of the supervisors outside, Captain Boykin, and I helped subdue that offender. Now, you can go back and watch the video and see the tactics that I used. Questionable, but effective nonetheless. So this particular story is going to cover my first experience with corruption as well as coercion within TDCJ. Now, I'm not proud of this situation at all. I actually really questioned whether or not I was going to talk about it. However, I want this stuff to be out. I want the truth of being a corrections officer and the experience of it to be out. This is my experience only. There are some officers that are going to walk the tiers and never experience any of this. Good on you. I hope nobody ever does. Unfortunately, I did. And what happened did happen. So, we'll fast forward to the end of that incident. Once I had gotten, actually I didn't have control of the offender. Once I had my hold on him because he was on top of me, and he was gnashing at me and said spitting and just trying to do anything he could to bite me. Most of his teeth were missing, knocked out of his skull. It's usually the sign of a career fighter. Gray came from everywhere. It's like they freaking repelled out of the sky. I had never seen more COs in one area. I didn't even know there were that many COs at a time at the unit. It's like everybody that wasn't locked down into a building swarmed to that area. And it was also their time to put their hands on an inmate. At a use of force, everybody wants to get their shots in. And there are a lot of sadistic COs that love getting their shots in. All right. Once we had control of the inmate, I had him stood up, and there was a sergeant beside me. I do remember his name. I'm going to leave his name out of this for this particular video. It was me and this sergeant. We're standing there holding this guy. And the major, who I mentioned in previous videos, that gave us that horrific speech and turnout about how incompetent of officers that we were, she was standing out there and was just talking shit to this guy. If you fucking move, I'll have these officers break your fucking arms. They'll rip your shoulders right out of joint. Keep in mind, this is my first day here, and I'm standing here with my hand on this inmate, and all I know is what was taught to me at the academy. I hadn't even been through the OJT process yet, and I'm standing there trying to process this. Not only am I trying to process it, my shirt's ripped, I got blood on me from the freaking offender. Adrenaline is just, if the level were here, adrenaline is that high. Heart rate was increased, just shaking. And I didn't realize I actually had teared up. One of my reactions, I don't know why, when I get a huge rush of adrenaline into a situation, I'm prone to cry. Yeah, it's funny. It's happened more than once. I'll be in a fight or in a situation, and I'm actively crying. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Everybody's body reacts differently. For whatever reason, that's my reaction. It doesn't stop me from performing any kind of duties that I need to. It's just a reaction. Kind of blurs the vision, but at that point, gross motor skills have taken over, you know. So we're standing there holding this guy, and the sergeant's talking on his radio. He was calling medical because what was he? He was calling medical to make sure that they had the shower area open that we could put the offender in. We start walking the offender. Sarge says, "Come on, let's go." There was another CO behind me, one of the field bosses, medium height, stocky white dude, 10-gallon cowboy hat, typical field guy. And I know he was talking shit to the inmate. I don't know what he was saying because I was more so listening to what the sergeant was saying. There's a standard use of force form that's used by TDCJ. When an offender needs to be extracted from the cell, there's the 5-man team suited up in the back, the lieutenant or sergeant, whichever supervisor's there, and there's a camera individual. And the lieutenant's reading off this verbatim form, such and such offender, submit yourself to da da da. And then once the offender refuses and the supervisor's got this whole list read off, they pop the door and the team runs in and takes them out from there. There's an after use of force statement that's made to the offender as well. Now, all this is for court procedures. The family's going to get notified if there are any. We're going to get sued. It's going to go to court. The video is going to get subpoenaed and all that. So when there wasn't a camera around because of use of force that just popped off on the fly, like this one particularly did, there is no camera. So you can bet COs are going to get in on their own. All right. So I'm listening to this sergeant. He's rattling off this standard use of force form. He was pretty damn good. He had it memorized. I could tell he definitely had been involved in quite a few of these. And he keeps using my name as, it wasn't so much the assaulting officer, but it was the subduing officer. The officer who subdued the inmate. I'm going, wait a minute. There were at least 6 of us all on this guy. Now, Boykin couldn't do anything because Boykin was out. He was on his back. His leg was laying one way. He was laying the other way. He was done. So I guess I just got picked out of the midst of it because I was the one that was on the bottom when the pile of gray got off of us. So we're walking this guy and the sergeant's talking to him, and I'm going, this just seems really, really strange. So we get him back in medical. We get him in the shower. They shut the door. He asked him, does he want to see the doctor? Because, nope, I don't want nothing with that doctor. And I'll try to keep it a little bit PC here, but the guy looks at me, and if I ever see you out on the runs again, you're fucking done. I'm going to kill you. Okay. First day, and I'm already getting death threats. Good stuff here, right? This is what you sign up for when you're ready to be a CO. So we leave, and the sergeant says, we need to go ahead and get your statement taken down. This way everything's still fresh in your mind. I don't remember the officer's name that I was with there. Said he'll help you through with the paperwork. So we go over to the admin building, and we go in what at one point looked like was some kind of a stage area, like they would have had graduations or concerts or a show. At this point, it was a storage area. There was gym equipment, podiums, cots, just all kinds of miscellaneous crap thrown in this room. And he hands me the form. It's a blank form. It just had the title on it. Once again, it was something to the nature of post use of force incident form, something to that nature. And he's telling me what to write. And I said, Sarge, shouldn't I write this from how you're not going to remember it the best. You were in the moment, you were in the heat, you're going to mess up on things. This is what you need to say. And he starts telling me what to write. And most of it was true. He asked me, describe the scene where you were. I told him I was outside the chow hall, patting inmates down, looked over, saw Captain Boykin getting assaulted, and I went to protect him. Okay, here's what we need to write. And he starts telling me what to write. And I hesitated at first, thinking, wait a minute, this is my official statement, and you're telling me what to write. I said, yeah, this is standard procedure. Here's what you need to go ahead and write. Insistent on it. And the field boss there with the hat on is going, hey, Carter, hey, man, the faster you get this stuff down, the fresher it is in your memory. But it's not coming from my memory. The words are coming from Sergeant here. That's what needs to go down on that paper. Okay. Start writing. What he's saying, I'm writing it down. At the bottom of it, put my signature on it, gave it to him. Thank you for your statement. I'm going to turn this in to the use of force officer. This is going to go up forward. And I'm just sitting there. He said, go ahead and hang out and relax, rest a little bit. Where are you? What building were you assigned to? Sarge, I'm OJT. This is my first day here at the unit. Okay, so when you get done, you feel a little bit better, report back to the FTO, you go on from there. What the fuck? Okay, so Sarge leaves, and this other guy reaches over, he slaps me on the shoulder. Hey man, good job, you first day rookie. That's good shit. First use assault on your first day. And I'm going, is this how this is supposed to be? Is this every day? He said, man, only if you're lucky it is. So that was how that went. I never heard anything about the form that I filed. I do know that the offender ended up back in segregation. I would see him periodically when I would get assigned to his buildings. He always gave me hell. He always gave me grief. Anytime we opened his slot to feed him, man, here we go. Arms flinging out and just throwing shit out. Just miserable. So, did I falsify a document? Probably. But I didn't know any better. It was the first day. I'm doing what my supervisor is telling me to do. They're telling me this is normal standard procedure. Live and learn. These are the experiences that the academy does not get you ready for. And it's easy to sit back right now and look at it and go, I should have done X, Y, Z, or this, and this. I didn't. I just did what I was told. And it's easy for anybody watching this to quarterback and go, oh, you just a big old piece of shit. You letting them manipulate you and do this and that. Man, what would you have done? Folks, hope you've enjoyed this video. Happy Saturday to you. Take care of yourselves.